So hi, welcome to another video. Today we're going to make this Viper Ultimate super light. We're going to take out about 15 grams. I'm going to show you all the different mods you can make to it to slowly reduce the weight if you don't do any permanent damage to it, because we're going to be drilling this along with a few other tweaks like changing the battery. Now if you want to see how to take this mouse apart, I've done a video that will show you how to fully tear it down. I'll put a link in the description to that. In this video I'm just going to show you it already torn down, and then we're going to take bits out of it and weight, and then we're going to put it all back together at different stages and weigh that part. Now if you're not familiar with this channel, it's going to provide you with the data and statistics to give the competitive edge over your rivals. We do latency tests, mouse reviews, lots of other stuff to give you that edge to make sure you've got the right mouse for what you need to do. Now, if you're not already, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you catch all these videos. These are the first ones here. And if you want one of these mice making or any other mice mods or switch replacements or repairs, check out my Buddy Bob shop. The first thing we're going to do is take out the rear diffuser. This is a permanent fix because it's welded in. Got plastic rivets. This is a permanent fix. Once you take it out though, you can save some weight. You can also put it back in, although you do break the rivets. Not necessarily always going to be a problem if you want to put it back. Now this was taken off a stream them on Bearded Bob Twitch, where I go through these live. If you want to join, feel free. Make sure you follow me on there, and I do some mice mods on there as well as streaming on a Friday night. There's a magnet in the base that holds this onto the docking station. We're going to make sure this is still dockable for charging. We're going to cut out the magnet. I suggest leaving that in. I took this out as part of this stream, but I did glue it back in the end, and you'll need that magnet for it to work on the dock. You're going to need some tools. Put a link in the description for all the tools that I use. I'm generally going to be using some little cutters as well as a nail file drill. I'll also give you the location for the replacement battery that I used, which is off AliExpress. So the life of the battery will reduce, but overall I think you're not going to find much of a problem. These are pretty good anyway, and the battery is still a large one anyway. So remove some of the plastic coating off the stock battery. It's like a plastic cellophane. I don't know why it's on there. It's probably to help somewhere down the line. There's also no markings on this default battery, which is a bit annoying. I don't know what size it is. I don't know why Razer haven't marked it. Normally they have to. The side buttons on this are certainly the most trickiest part to put back in. A little bit awkward. On that teardown, it will show you exactly how to take them out. We'll also be cutting the PCB in half the side buttons to reduce that weight as well. Let's put this back together. This is what I would call a light mod. This isn't going to do too much damage to the mouse. You're going to be able to put it back while reducing the weight a little bit, but without chopping it up too much. I'll put a link in the description for the full stream. It's on my Twitch channel. You can see this if you want to see a bit in slow motion and look at some bits in more detail. This is about 3.5 hours worth of stream, and I've compressed it into the video. So I know a lot of you want to see some bits in slow motion. I've tried to do that. You'll have to slow it down yourself, or say go back and look at the full stream, because we're not going to put up a 3-hour video. YouTube just will punish me for it. So this is what it looks like. It's a bit of a lightweight one. We're going to take it with the rear panel on and off. It's up to you. Some people will use it for the palm. I certainly do. Some people won't. Gives you an idea of what you can reduce if you don't mind the palm, if you're more of a fingertip grip. You'll see here on this docking station without this magnet, you'll see it is having some problems charging. You see it won't connect to the bottom of the base, and that's because it slightly lifts up at the back, and that's why you need to make sure the magnet is in there. If you don't care about the docking station, you're going to charge it on the front USB port, then you can remove this magnet. But obviously you'll need to keep the front USB port PCB in place instead. 64 grams, not bad. Given the stock weight of this is 75 grams. With the rear panel, 69 grams, a little bit heavier. Still got quite a bit of weight to take out of this going forward. So this is what the internal shell looks like. I did chop a bit off. I had to weigh it again with all those bits. Now we're going to work all this skeleton out. It looks like there's not much to take out here, but there's certainly a lot at the back. You can see with the stock rear panel on, you don't see these modifications. This will be a stock looking Viper Ultimate at the end of this, even though it'll be a lot more weight reduced. But it's not going to be drilled to death on the sides or anything like that. It'll look pretty standard done. Just keep working around the skeleton. Razer's done a pretty good job here, but there's certainly some weight still to be taken out. There will be some additional flex because you're taking weight out of it. That's kind of the compromise you're going to have to make yourself. Now, what's the ideal weight of a mouse? Well, that's your personal preference. For me, it's around 60 to 55 grams. Anywhere around there, I'm happy. Below that tends to get a little bit twitchy. I have done a Viper wired one that gets down to about 49 grams. That was ridiculously light. A bit tricky at sniping, but it still was a light mouse, and you'll get used to it over time. Now I've reduced a bit more out of the shell. We're going to weigh it again, see what the weight is here, so you can just keep working it. Obviously now you're not going to be able to return it too easily. Ensure you put the screws in on the front two where the switches are, just to ensure you get a slightly better click. See, the battery here is 8 grams. Replacement one's going to be 5 grams. Replacement battery is 300 milliamp, 3.7 volts. And we're not sure what the stock one is. There's no markings. One of the things I noticed here is the positive and negative on the battery need to be switched around, which is unusual. If I had to do that, hence I'm to solder this battery, you will have to do this yourself. I'm not sure why the opposite's on the Razer. But that was one of the problems. It did start to get a bit hot, so we had to take it out, tweak it on stream. Once this is done, it then works perfectly fine. A little bit of overhang with this battery. It's sort of more of a rectangle. Just make sure it doesn't cause you problems on the front buttons and scroll wheel. I could mount it in the top PCB as I did here. Later on we'll mount it on the bottom PCB, and that's because we're going to chop the PCB in half. So nice, we're down below 60 grams now without the rear panel. We're down to 64 grams with the rear panel on. Now we're going to chop the PCB. 2 channels here, the PCB, one goes left, one goes right. I've chopped between them, keeping the left-hand side buttons in place. Be careful when doing this, obviously you can't put it back. Now turn into a full right-handed mouse, but you'll be able to see the channels, you have to hold them to the light. Now we're down to 62 grams with the rear panel, we're getting there. Now I'm just going to have to work on the base, start chopping out all the channels. They seem to put reinforcements in mice companies on the base. You don't generally apply much pressure directly to the base, it's always on the sides. I still don't get why they don't take out all these parts. Maybe it's for RMA, people would snap them, but this video today is to show you what is possible. I know some of you won't like this, some of you will like this. You make the mods that you wish. This is for me to show you exactly what you can do without destroying the mouse. If you end up drilling the shell and taking some of the rubber off, you could certainly get it into the early 50s grams. Obviously, you compromise a little bit there, so that's your choice. I didn't take the rubber off on here. Done it before on a few mice, including a Viper, and it's an absolute nightmare. You'll be spending about 2 hours at least trying to get the plastic off and the rubber on the sides. Just horrendous. You will save some weight, maybe 4 grams, 5 grams. Personally, for me, it's not worth it because you end up putting grip tape on it anyway. Once it's worn out, maybe it would be worth it. But just to reduce the weight, I wouldn't bother. But again, personal preference. Just keep working this base. Again, I'm using these little clippers here. These are used generally for 3D printing. There's a nail file drill, a little bit more delicate. A lot easier to trim out some of the weight using that. You see now I've attached the battery to the bottom of the PCB. So here we are, the nail file. We're going to take out as much as we can plastic wise. We're going to ensure we can still use the base for charging on the dock. About what the stream wanted to see, and this is what we created on stream. You can influence what I do on stream, hence come join me on Twitch Bearded Bob. You catch me doing videos like this. as well as some general gaming on a Friday. A little chat about mice, or I test mice and mouse pads on stream to see what they like and give you my thoughts there and then. But don't forget to take the label off. Amateur mistake. All that weight is extra. It's 0.07 grams, so every gram counts, right? Trimming out the sides. Make sure you don't go near the skates. If you do damage the skates, it's a bit awkward and will affect your glide, so just trying to avoid that area. I tend to not go too close anymore. I used to go a lot closer. Now I don't think it's worth it. I tend to back off a little bit. Keep the glide sweet. This is what the base looks like. You need to take some of the burrs off them. You do that yourself if you wish. The different weights here looking nice. Now below 60 grams with a rear shell on. We do need to put the skates on. It's also still working with the docking station. Give it a little bit of a shake to see if it falls off because of the weight. See it is working. You can see the eraser is slightly not fully coloured there because the diffuser is taken out again. Consequence of removing that diffuser. Put the default skates on. You can change these if you wish. I do some glide tests around. I haven't done any for this yet, but there will be some coming. And this is what it looks like. Not a bad mod. Certainly room here from Razer to reduce its weight. But now we've made the Viper Superlight so people can compete now with the G Pro Superlight. If you're a Razer fan, I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe as I've said. Catch these videos and I'll see you very soon. Catch you later. Bye bye.